Now we're going to look at the vocabulary of division. There are 4 words we need to know when understanding a division equation. We have our dividend. This is the total amount or total number of objects. This is the divisor. So this can be either the number of groups or the number of objects or the amount in each group. The quotient can be either, if this was the number of groups, this would be the amount or number in the group. If this was the amount or number in the group, this would be the number of groups. So it's slightly trickier than our other equations. Then anything that is left over, so anything that doesn't fit into our groups, is our remainder. I'm going to show you 2 contexts, well, 2 different ways of looking at the same context to explain how this vocabulary works. Here we have a box of chocolates and we're going to share it between these 3 people. So we're going to use division to work out how many chocolates each of these people would have. So we are splitting into 3 groups. The total amount we have is our dividend. So we have 3, 6, 9, 12, add 2 is 14. So we have 14 chocolates. We're splitting it into 3 groups. So we need to make sure our groups are of equal size. We could have one group here. So how many are in each group? How many chocolates does each person get? Well, they get 4 each. So if we take our box of chocolates with 14 chocolates and we split it into 3 equal groups, each group will have 4 chocolates in it. However, we had 2 that we could not share fairly or evenly. That is our remainder. So we put remainder 2. So we'd say 14 divided by 3 is 4 remainder 2. So in this context, what does the 14 represent? What does the 3 represent? What does the 4 represent? And what does the 2 represent? Well, 14, our dividend, represents the total number of chocolates. 3, our divisor, represents the number of groups that we would share the chocolates into. 4, our quotient, represents how many chocolates were in each group. And our remainder, 2, was how many that were left over after we had shared them fairly. Now imagine we've got the same box of chocolates, but this time we're going to split the chocolates into groups of 3. So we know the group size, we want to know how many groups we can make. Well, we still have 14 chocolates. We want to split it into groups of 3. So how many groups of 3 can we make? Well, let's have a look. 1 group of 3, 2 groups of 3, 3 groups of 3, 4 groups of 3. And how many do we have left over? What remains? Our remainder is 2. So, the 14 in this case still represents the number of chocolates. But what does the 3 represent this time? Now the 3 represents the number in each group. What does the 4 represent? It represents the number of equal groups. And the 2 is still our remainder, the number that were left over. Again, using the same context, I could have also said, I want to group my chocolates into groups of 4. So, my dividend is still 14. But now, I'm going to split into equal groups of 4. That's 1 group, 2 groups, 3 groups. So I have split into groups of 4. That gives me 3 groups. My remainder is 2. What you hopefully notice here is that in all 3 of these contexts, or all 3 ways of looking at this context, our dividend has remained exactly the same. It has remained 14. But what you should notice is that our divisor and our quotient can swap places. So we can say that 14 divided by 4 is 3, but we can also say that 14 divided by 3 is 4. And in both contexts, both ways of looking at it, the remainder stays constant. It is always 2 in this context. So our remainder doesn't change. Here we have a length of ribbon. It is 27 meters long. I want to know how long my pieces will be if I split it into 13 equal pieces. Well, for this, our calculation would be 27, which is our dividend, the amount that we are going to share out. Our divisor is 13. We are splitting into 13 equal pieces. Then, using our knowledge of times tables, we know, well, 2 lots of 13 would be 26. So we know that it goes in twice, but we'd have 1 left over. So what does that mean in this context? Well, that means that each of our 13 pieces would be 2 meters long, and we'd have 1 meter of ribbon left over. In the later videos where we look at division, we will look at how we might express this as a decimal number or as a fraction. Here we have the same piece of ribbon, but this time I want to split it into, or cut it into, pieces that are 2 meters long. So I want to know how many pieces that are 2 meters long could I get if my whole ribbon was 27 meters long. Again, 27 is our dividend. It is the amount that we are going to be splitting into equal pieces. Now we know the size of the pieces this time as opposed to how many pieces we want. So our divisor is now 2. Well, we know that if we've moved a quotient to the position of the divisor in this calculation, then we can move the divisor to the quotient position in this one. So we know that 27 divided by 2 is 13, and our remainder has to have remained the same. So here we have our dividend, divisor, quotient, remainder. Dividend, divisor, quotient, remainder. What does the 27 represent in this context? What does the 2 represent? What does the 13 represent? And what does our remainder of 1 represent? You should have said that the 27 represents the whole length of the piece of ribbon. The 2 represents how long we want our pieces to be that we're going to cut it into. The 13 represents how many equal pieces we will be able to cut. And a remainder represents how much ribbon will be left over if we cut them into pieces that are 2 meters long. So here the 27 still has to represent the total length. But what does the 13 represent in this context? And what does the 2 represent in this context? And what does the remainder of 1 represent? Well, Here, 13 represents how many pieces I want to cut the ribbon into. The 2 represents how long each of those pieces will be if I cut it into 13 pieces. And our remainder is how much of the ribbon is left over.